So the most important thing that you do at this time is you don't turn back, no matter how difficult it is. And many people are struggling at this time, and it always gets very intense where you're getting that last bit out. And to not have the strength to do much, the body is changing because the frequency that we're going to be living in is shifting. And just to have the energy to get through regular stuff in the day. And you know, there's many people like myself, you know, you're accountable for everything in your life from the time you get up in the rising till your head hits the pillow at night. And you don't have a break, you don't have a drop of help, a drop of unconditional love. And during this moment that we're in, you're going to witness glitches, and you're going to witness that everything gets really quiet, and you say that there's nothing. And when you cross this finish line, you're going to be crossing this finish line alone. And therefore the shift was done by you, and no one else can take the credit. You know, sometimes you get a little frustrated with God that you know, the boulder that you're trying to move, and you're going to have to do this all alone. And no one can take away the ascension symptoms that you're going through, because our body has to heal from the traumas of the dense world and systems of the world that are no longer going to be here. This is a very powerful message for the world, and many people are feeling this right now. This is an intense healing experience. So grateful for everyone hitting the like button to push this video forward. The intense healing experience is the disconnect from the systems, the way of life that we all were going through. The trauma, the knots in the stomach, digestion, and the fascia of that area. So in recent times, I have broke down all of these symptoms that we have been going through, and you might see an abnormal spike in all of these symptoms all at once. And this is like the finishing touches, if you will. It's a very intense healing experience, and we're all going through this experience now. You know, when it comes to our digestion, when it comes to our stomach, when it comes to our solar plexus, the way of the world, in your base energy center, there is a connection from all of the systems that we've lived through, the way of life, and now the knots in your stomach are being released. So you might actually have energetic knots in your stomach that might have been throwing off digestion. So your body has to, we're supposed to actually flow. Our body is, you know, mostly water, but when you have this stagnation, we're not supposed to be stagnant. So you're going to want to release, and sometimes we can't release because we're clenching so tight. The safety and survival needs of the collective. What is coming up right now are the safety and survival needs. So there are many people in the world, especially when you see the corruption in the world. Do you feel safe? Do you have enough? And this is the reflection, because, you know, it's always supposed to be flowing. And when there's stagnation, everything is supposed to flow. So the waters of the body flow. Okay, even money flows. But then there becomes stagnation. When you look at the whole world in post-2020, there has been a lot of stagnation. Yesterday, I put a very powerful video, how highly advanced souls, they feel like they've lost years of their life. And I broke down, God's plan. You got to measure twice and cut once. And your journey is going to be different. You are going to make it past 2030. So your journey has to be longer. There has to be a deep cleanse. There has to be an intense healing experience that happens in order for your frequency to be carried on to where we're headed. So there is the sense of well-being, the sense of well-being in the physical body. The physical body is giving us the signs and the signals. So we are connected through everything that's going on in the world. Even people, I know there are highly sensitive people that kind of stay away from everyone, and they're still feeling this right now. I appreciate that, Angel by the Ocean. Check out yesterday's video. It resonates with a lot of people because we've all had to go through that. And no one's going to help you. And you'll actually see the silence that happens. And in the past 48 hours, there has been glitches when it comes to the tech and the actual reality itself. When you see things that don't make any sense, you awaken and you realize that the physical world is not real, but it is actually a frequency. So when everything magically gets quiet, I've noticed this. This thing happens where like everything just goes absolutely silent. Okay, and that's actually a sign that there's going to be a massive shift and change in your life, and we're going through this for the collective right now. I even noticed that going back years ago when I used to go to work. And every once in a while, there would just be this eerie feeling in the building, like there was abnormally, like not a lot of people there. So, in life, and especially if we're connected via the internet, and you have the data, and you could see the numbers and you could see things. All of a sudden, everything gets very quiet, and this is it's almost like that reset to get to the next chapter or phase. The things that we have been holding on, and we do hold a lot of them in the solar plexus. So to have the densities, the birds are back, baby. You gotta watch. I'm like the bird whisperer, if you didn't watch yesterday's lesson. The renewal process, the densities that we hold in the gut, this goes beyond, fat or, gotta lose weight. We hold densities in that midsection, and those densities can't come with us. So you might be called, like myself. I just share about my journey. I don't tell people what to do or how to eat. You ever see these I see a lot of gaslighting people that pretend to be spiritual, and they say, this is the only way to be spiritual. Okay, so in your life, you have to listen to your body. You have to know the time, and I did full watermelon cleanse again yesterday. Got my lemon water as I'm sitting here, no coffee. So you have to understand, you have to know the time, you have to know what your body is telling you, and then go with it. Instead of clogging yourself up, instead of fighting against it, we want to move ahead with it. Make it easier. And there really has been a lot of glitches when it comes to technology and reality. So, it's difficult for me because I'm a person that is very driven, and I'm usually a ball of energy, and to have absolutely no energy and no help yesterday, it's very, very hard. So what I did, and this brings me to the story. I dragged myself to the gym, but not to work out. To do the red light and sit in the infrared sauna. And sitting in the infrared sauna, there's a TV that you could see. It's through the glass door, and I was seeing the TV, and then all of a sudden I saw on the TV 771 satellite interference, and the TV froze, and it just was weird. And I saw a friend of mine that walked in, and he was sitting in the other room when I came out, and I said, "Oh, it must have been because of you. You walked in here and look at the TVs. It says satellite interference, and all of the TVs froze." And it just was interesting. So you could see things like that. You could see things on your phone, on social media. The actual reality itself. So you're going to experience a lot of glitches during this process. This is a renewal process, and it's not pleasant or easy to go through the renewal process. But you have to go through it. The only way out is through. Sitting here and just feeling so off, but you're a point of homeostasis, and this gut and the base energy center. So at the end of this video, I will place related videos that I recently did, and everyone has to understand that there was a lot of corruption in this world. Do you know this? The systems of the world that we're all connected to, because that's how we live our everyday lives. It was fear-based, and it was a lot of corruption. So the resentment and anger that you stored, that is stored in the liver. The liver has to detox and let go of the anger, okay? And that's part of your spiritual immune system, right? Telling you that something is wrong, that you go out in the world and you couldn't get ahead in life. What was wrong with the world? So you held that in your liver. Anxiety is fear of the future, and you held that in your digestive tract. So your stomach, your intestines, they have to be totally reset. And we hold these traumas, and these traumas that we're holding on, and then you might have knots in your stomach, you might have knots in your fascia, and they have to be released. So it is a total renewal process. So you have to realize that there will be zero help. Nobody will help you, and it will actually be like it gets really, really quiet. And the answer is, you must trust God fully. And you have to say to yourself, because you have gone through these moments in the past, that this is part of the journey to get to where we're headed. And when you trust God fully, Amy Sunshine Ray writes, real talk. I appreciate that. We do real talk on this channel. When you trust God fully, then the peace comes. There are physical things that are difficult to do. So even though yesterday was a rest day for me, but when it comes to health and wellness, there are things that, and I'm giving you the real talk, so people don't understand the ins and outs of doing this. And literally, you have to be a spiritual warrior. Like yesterday was a rest day, but there is still physical things that have to be done. And you might have to do these things on your own with zero strength, with zero help. Like, for example, like I know that being in the salt water, being out on the beach grounding is going to be beneficial to the healing, which it was. But I had to drive there. Then I couldn't find there was no close spot, so I still had to walk far. And I had to get on that sand, and I had to collapse, and I had to lay with my stomach in the sun, and then I got to float in the water, and it was like difficult to even stand up. But to do that process, and you don't have no one to help you, there are still things that you have to do on your journey, because there is always movement, even if there is rest, because you know, okay, laying on the couch is not going to help us. As I've shared, I coach up a few people, and they asked me about my walking habits on the beach. And so yesterday I had which is abnormal for me, and you know, to not have any strength to walk at all, right? It makes you feel very scary. But all of the energy must go to this intense healing experience. Do you understand this? All of the energy. So that's why there is a lot of energy that goes towards digestion. So your stomach, right? So, and we think, because that's the way it is. You got to eat food, got to grow, so on and so forth. But the energy can't go towards digestion. That energy must go towards healing. So you could either fast. I happen to do the watermelon because there is a hunger there, and the watermelon is very cleansing at the time. And when you get through the process, then you know your body, and then you'll go back to your whatever resonates with you eating habits. This is the change for another level of life. When your internal world is shifting, and it's not easy to go through this right now, when your internal world is shifting, then the outer world, whatever you're experiencing, will shift for another level of life. So anything in the outer world that was, there even might be behaviors or things that used to resonate with you, and now all of a sudden you can't do these things anymore. And one of the main things, it just is what it is in this matrix world that we live in, has to deal with people. So you are at a certain level for a period of time in your life. People are cool with you at a certain level, but then they act very strange before God gives you your leadership role. You are at a certain level, and people will like you at this level. But when your frequency goes up here, all of a sudden the people don't like you no more. And Nikola Tesla taught us this. And when people don't like you because of this, that is great power. Smash the like button if that is great power. Did I nail it, FitBrit? I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone coming in. Yeah, Carla writes, she's doing coconut water. All right, so we all have different. What I do here on this channel is I make the community, everyone is respected, right? So we all have different healing modalities, but the overall concept of this time period is hydration. Hydration is so important because all of the densities, everything has to flow in and out of the body. Everything has to start flowing. It has to be hydration right now. Hydration, she's a part of life. So, like that's why I have my lemon water today and not my coffee. Every choice. So there are people that are tuned into this podcast today. Ooh, are you here? I'm trying to be funny. I got no strength, but I appreciate you being here. There are people that are tuned in today, and you're saying to yourself, it is unbelievable, the divide, the split in the world. There are people that are totally, like they're acting totally different. And why is this so? And it seems like it is going wider and wider. And there is a concept that everyone, if you want to improve your life, you have to understand this. This is the truthful journey, not the quick fix. If you don't sell your soul, bro, it's going to take you a little extra longer. Right? Every choice compounds. Every choice compounds. So, especially in a post-2020 world, and every choice, if you are making healthier choices, godly choices, every choice compounds. And then other people might have made choices out of fear. They got to take this thing, they got to put this thing in their body, they're going to watch mainstream media, they're going to do this. Every choice compounds. And it is a frequency. So when you look at the world right now, there are people that chose and chose and chose. And then there are other people that chose and chose and chose. And then every single one of those choices compounds. You ever hear of compound interest? Right? Over time, right? Like if you're saving money, like the first 5 years, right, with the compounded interest is going to be worth so much more at the end, right? But it keeps compounding. When you think about manifestation, as I've shared, right? One of my world famous quotes, start today, it's on a delay. So over the past few years, we are now seeing the physical, which was on a delay, ready? We are now seeing the physical, which was on a delay of the choices that people made that were compounded over time over the past few years. Was that a great explanation? I appreciate that. So that's why, you have to know that the journey is not easy. You have to know that you're not going to fit into, and there is no way. There is no way. I appreciate all those beautiful comments coming in. Thank you. There is no way that you can ever fit into a sick society. I'll wait. Is it true? There is no way. And again, this is where a lot of the anger that you've been holding in your liver over the past few years, because you're seeing it more and more. And you're going closer and closer to God. And you're going closer and closer and back to nature, the natural way, not the inorganic ways, not the transactional ways, but the unconditional love ways. These are all frequencies. So there's a dissonance in the frequencies. So if you see me, right, and you're still locked and loaded on this video, you can't fit into a sick society, which means you cannot go to that job. That is not a good job. You could get a lot of money from that job, but it's going to make you sick at a spiritual level. Your dating pool is going to be this small, bro. Because you can't deal with the sickness of this sick society. So when you take all these things up, and we're going to relate this to yesterday's very powerful lesson that the whole world needs to hear, you felt like years of your life have been wasted. You could raise your hand in the chat. Raise your hand if you feel like years of your life have been wasted. And the reason for this is because everything has to be equally yoked according to the frequency. Until the correct, work atmosphere, the correct way of life for your work, and until the equally yoked person comes along. You might be Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz, right? You picked up and you go through a storm. You don't know where to live. All you know is you can't live in your hometown anymore. I've done a full video on that. Many people that resonate with this journey, you must leave your hometown. It's part of the journey, because you cannot ascend to a higher version of yourself when you are surrounded with people that think you're always here. And they're going to always try to put you back here. You chose through your free will to rise up here. Those people are always going to see you at this level. So it's a scary thing to do. It's part of the journey. You must leave the hometown. And then you could always go back and visit. Right? And the more you get in tune with the body, you feel that density of the surroundings, epigenetics, okay? You feel these things, and the surroundings can affect you, and it can affect your vibrational frequency. When you think about safety and survival needs, listen carefully. But what does that actually mean? When you think about like a home or where you live. For anyone that's new, I used to teach middle school science. Middle school science, right? Sometimes God raptures a middle school science teacher to help the world out in this great transitional shift, right? And I used to teach my students, all living things need food, water, and a suitable place to live. And then I would go on and on and on about this. I said, it's not shelter, ladies and gentlemen. I tell them it's a suitable place to live. Well, Mr. D, why has it got to be a suitable place to live? Well, I said, well, you have pets, right? Maybe your pet dog or cat can chill out on the bed with you, right? But what about your pet goldfish, right? Are you going to take your goldfish and plop it on the bed? No, it's not a suitable place. It's got to be under the water. It can't breathe the air. So the suitable place to live, it has to deal with you. And this is the derangement with it when it comes to fake spiritual gurus out there that tell you how to live your life. You know your life. What is suitable for you? Maybe it is by the beach, but maybe you don't like the beach. Maybe you like being up on the mountain. That's you. Do you is what we teach on this channel. Do you. Maybe you actually love the city because you like the pulse of many people. Then that's for you. For me, like being like the more sensitive is just like too much for me. But I'm not gonna knock someone, right? It is a suitable for you. Your diet, it has to be suitable for you. There are too many fake people out there that tell people how to live their life. Tell them to get TF out of your way. This is where we are. I told you in a recent lesson, the change now is irreversible. You ain't going back now. Hit the like button if you like that one. See? You must do you. And this is the renewal process, especially for those empaths that are out there. And this is the great shakeup that we're experiencing. You must choose you. Let me say it one more time so it penetrates the brain. You must choose you. There are too many empaths that got taken advantage of by narcissistic people. You must choose you in this energy as your stomach, as your solar plexus being cleansed. These are the physical attributes of ascension and the process of individuation. Ruh-roh. I am fully sober. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful for the support. Thank you for the inspiration. Mike on the mic. Mike is on the mic, baby. Boom! I appreciate that. A true divine masculine. Light warriors lead the way. I'm so grateful for the super chat. Thank you so much for that. I love you. Appreciate you. Love you. So the goal is, ready? The goal is another level of life. If you're struggling right now, physically, mentally, spiritually, if you're struggling right now, all right, this is the message for you. For another level of life, the internal frequency must shift. The traumas that we hold in our solar plexus, in our liver, they must leave the body. They have to leave us to experience another level of life. To experience another level of life, there will be people that don't like you because, like a mirror, right? Yeah, they're looking right into the mirror and they're realizing that you are doing the work that they don't want to do, so they don't like you. These are just all the answers. Here. It's like Animal Planet out here. You watched yesterday's video. So, if you and I was talking, so the owl came. The owl was, I heard something first. I never heard it before. And then I never had an owl here, right? And then there was a hawk also in the tree. So there was the owl and there was the hawk. I have a video of the owl. Hit me up on Facebook. I will put that up as a reel on Facebook. So in the tree, there was an owl and a hawk. So I never seen anything like that. So I just felt that was a very powerful synchronicity. Like I get birds all the time over here, but to have an owl and a hawk at the same time, I've never seen anything like that. Shadow, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful for the support. I love you. I appreciate you. Sometimes we have to dive into our shadow. Some people they deny their shadow, right? But we have to understand it's the highlights and the shadows of our life. And when you incorporate it all, Carl Jung calls it the process of individuation. And Carl Jung believes that Jesus Christ was the very first person to accomplish the process of individuation. And you were tricked by all the mainstream stuff of what this journey is all about. And those that are clicking subscribe, those that are taking the journey, you will learn the truthful journey. Not the gaslighting journey, not the spiritual bypassing journey, the journey of our everyday lives. Ooh. You heard it here first, kid. Dropping the mic, Brandy. I appreciate that. Yeah, they bamboozle you, Janine writes. You get bamboozled out there. Yeah, Jason writes, when I have special encounters with an animal, I look up the Native American spiritual meaning. There's a lot of, so there's been a lot of animals showing up here in the last month. But, you know, in life, eventually, we have to go beyond the signs, and we have to get to the embodiment. And in the embodiment, the signs are just telling us, and it keeps us on a right track. But we have to actually experience. We have to experience it in our everyday life. We have to experience the wealth. We have to experience the unconditional love. And as we are feeling this, it is a very intense, shift that we are going through. And you will see everything go silent. Oh, where did everyone go? Is anyone there? Hello? Are you there? Is anyone there? It's part of the process. Life is not a straight line. But for that new higher high, you have to go down again and slingshot. Slingshot it up. And it's just really it's exhausting, you know. It's an exhausting process to, and that's why those that are resonating with yesterday's very powerful video, you make gains in your life, especially even with our health, and then we feel like we go backwards. But all of that is the cleansing, and that's just our life. Camilla, thank you so much for the super chat. I love you. Ooh, I'm on TV. Love you, bro. Yeah, there's almost nobody left in my life, and everything that was no longer is. I appreciate the super chat. Camilla, thank you so much. I love you, and I appreciate the support. Yeah, we and so a lot of people, especially in the past year, are going through the longest dark night of the soul that they've ever gone through. If you are, maybe you're starting to become versed on this spiritual journey, and you learn about the dark night of the soul. And what you're going to learn today is you will have multiple dark nights of the soul. But every time you go through some concept, whatever brings forth that dark night of the soul, that concept or whatever it is, it can never affect you again, or it just can't affect you at that magnitude ever again. So there is a metamorphosis that is happening. And none of it is easy. And that is where the densities in the solar plexus, they must be released. And so, and I'm just being real with everyone. So we are, I teach the truth here on this channel. We are not here to suffer. However, there are time periods or things that we have to deal with, like an adult. There are people in spirituality that are not adults. Do you know this? Well, there's things that we actually have to deal. We can't bypass these things. So when you get to, a fasting or a cleansing, going through this right now, to not have the enjoyment of eating nourishing foods, like we are supposed to have fun and enjoyment in life. So now you take away the ability to eat. Now you're not eating that nourishing food. So everything, right? You're not getting any endorphins in, and you're just dealing with pain. And this is just the truth, though, because sometimes we have to deal with the pain, but we don't sign up for a life of pain. Yeah, BJ Prickett writes, fake preachers, fake gurus. I appreciate you, BJ Prickett. You gotta understand the sharpness. You gotta be sharp right now. So you're not here to suffer your whole life. But there are times, and I mean, I can feel it right now. Because I'm down to, when you get that point where you're down to zero, it gets very frustrating. So through this, when you feel, you say, oh, I have no enjoyment in life at this time, everything gets more intense. Just think about that. You might take eating nourishing meals, I'm not talking about junk food. Like just eating like a delicious, nourishing meal, and then you can't eat. And you know what? Like you might, go out there and you could say to yourself, I like, doing the cleanse or whatever, eating watermelon, which is nice. But eventually, right? Like you're not getting the happiness that you have. And I've seen this. I've seen people in spirituality, and they do certain things because it's a label. Because it's no fast food, right? We're not talking about fast food. We're just talking about healthy food. Just to have that nourishment. And just to have that conversation, really, reflecting on, what was shared yesterday and what we're all going through right now. I'm sure there's people that are tuned in right now. You want a conversation with someone that is equally yoked to you. That's just what it is. There is something in your life where you're like, there's got to be someone else that gets it. And that's really what we're looking for when it comes to union, for experiences. And the more this stirs up on the inside, the more it stirs up on the inside. I mean, that is that Heinrich metamorphosis, because you're not going to tolerate things anymore in your life. You cannot do the surface level anymore. Does that resonate? You can't do the surface level anything anymore. So it is it's an interesting time period that we're all going through. And if you are struggling at this time, know that many people are feeling it, and it's something that we must detach from. This is a renewal process. It's not easy. If you are getting a brand new bathroom, and you don't like it, and you get a new one, they got to come in, you break it apart, there's all dust, it's all broken, there's nothing. You might have to go somewhere else. You can't take a shower for a night or two. But then it all comes in. It's renewal. But the process of renewal, it's not easy to go through. So this is what we're going through. Not in the no. The physical things that we have in life will change, but we're talking about this vessel We're talking about our frequency. We're talking about the broadcast that we're now putting outward. Gnosis, yeah. Love is here. I appreciate you all. So, you know, I really do hope that this word helps you in the now moment that we are all in. It's not an easy time period. And, you know, just align things up. I've done videos, real, tangible signs that you've shifted timelines. You could check that out as well. Because when you have this extreme shift in the body, emotions, what is emotion? Energy, it's all energy. And then you're witnessing, wait a second, there's strange glitches that are happening out in the world all at the same time. It gets very frustrating because you say, what is even real? Which I get. I understand the frustration. Castle 1111. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, you. I appreciate you, Castle. I love you. I'm grateful. So listen, I would listen to your body. Know that it's part of the process, and know that it's just there's a meme, and you're pushing the boulder up, and no one will help you. But no one actually can go inside of your body and do. You must do it. Hello? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like I have the pains and the frustrate. No one else can do the Heinrich metamorphosis for me. Do you understand what I'm putting up? This is why we have to be light warriors at this time, not cream puffs, because it's not easy. And then you have self-respect. And then you start to see the recalibration of the things that are in your life. That's why these new people are showing up, and those people don't come around no more. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're going up here. So these people are inspired. These people are coming with you. And those people over there, no, they don't want to move forward. And this is what has happened in the world. Some people still believe the bread and circuit. You ever see the bread and circuits that's going on out there? You ever see that stuff? And they believe that stuff. No one has still helped me. Did you watch my video recently? I'm still waiting for someone to give me the answers for that video. So we've had very powerful videos in the past week. They're all waiting for you on the channel page. Check out the video. Let me know if you could help me with any of those questions that I had in that video. Somebody has to help me in this world. Someone has to show me the answers to these things. But nobody can. Everything is a distraction from you finding out who you truthfully are. And Carl Jung said, it is the greatest privilege of a lifetime to become who you truly are. When you feel the pain right now, when you feel the shifts, realize that this literally is the greatest privilege of a lifetime. I'm so grateful for all of you. And Eddie, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful. I love you, Eddie. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. And before I get off, you know, and you could consider clicking subscribe. I appreciate that. And you get a daily notification, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We do this work daily. Check out the channel page. Connect on Facebook. We have a tremendous Facebook community, and it gives us an opportunity to communicate. Everyone gets to communicate. Okay, different platforms, different things going on here. All right, Facebook link is in the description. And check out the video that pops up. I know that many people feel the frustration of years and years of their life being wasted, but all that stuff, it's not going to even be here anymore. Do you get it? So just keep going, kid. I love you all. Like, comment, share, do all those things. All the stuff helps. And I appreciate the community support. It's much appreciated, whatever you do. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Hang in there. Bye for now.